Trust compounds like interest. At first, it doesn't seem like much. You meet someone new, and you don't know who they are yet. You don't know if their word means anything. You don't know if they'll show up when they say they will, or if they'll vanish the moment things get hard. In the beginning, trust feels fragile, almost non-existent. Every agreement is double-checked. Every promise is uncertain. You guard yourself because you've been hurt before, and you don't want to lose. But over time, with consistency, something shifts. You start to see a pattern. They say they'll do something, and they actually do it. Not once, not twice, but over and over again. Each action, each delivery, is like a deposit into a bank account. Slowly, that account grows. Trust is not built in a single grand gesture. It's built brick by brick, day after day, through small, reliable actions that align with words. And like interest in a bank account, trust compounds. At first, the growth is barely noticeable. You still hesitate, you still check twice. But as months and years go by, the compounding effect kicks in. You no longer need a second guess them. You don't need a contract for every little thing. A single nod, a single handshake, becomes worth more than pages of legal paperwork, because you know, deep in your bones, that this person is reliable, that they value your relationship more than short-term gain, that they won't betray you for a slightly better deal tomorrow. When trust compounds, everything gets easier. Think about it. Without trust, every step is friction. You waste time protecting yourself, setting up safeguards, building walls. But with trust, the walls come down. You can move faster. You can make decisions quicker. You can take bigger risks together, because you're no longer carrying the weight of doubt. The energy you once spent protecting yourself is now freed up for creation, for building, for growth. This is why the most successful people in the world surround themselves with long-term partners. Investors back the same founders again and again. Entrepreneurs stick with the same co-founders, even across multiple companies. Friends turn into collaborators. Collaborators turn into lifelong allies. Because once trust has compounded, the leverage it gives you is enormous. You don't just move faster, you move with certainty. You can think bigger because you're not distracted by suspicion. And here's the thing most people miss. Trust is wealth. It may not show up in your bank account, but it shows up everywhere else. When people trust you, opportunities flow your way. Doors open that would stay locked for others. Someone introduces you to a partner, an investor, a client, because they trust you enough to put their own reputation on the line. Reputation is just trust that has spread across a wider network. And like money, it compounds the longer you keep investing in it. Of course, trust is fragile at the start. It's easy to break and hard to repair. One lie can erase years of deposits. One betrayal can reset the balance to zero. That's why you must protect your reputation like you protect your most valuable asset, because it is. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose a job and find another. But if you lose trust, if people no longer believe your word, the compounding stops. And when it stops, it takes decades to rebuild. So the smart play is simple. Keep making deposits, be consistent, do what you said you'd do, even when it's inconvenient, especially when it's inconvenient. Over time, those small acts of integrity accumulate. People remember, people talk. They may not say it out loud, but deep down they know, this person is solid, I can count on them. And once that belief is there, the world bends in your favor. Think of the people in your own life that you trust completely. You don't need to check the fine print with them. You don't need to wonder if they're secretly plotting against you. That kind of trust feels rare, almost magical. But it's not magic, it's compounding. It's the inevitable result of time and consistency, of showing up and doing the right thing long enough that doubt fades away. In the end, trust is the highest form of currency. It buys you time, freedom, and peace of mind. It multiplies your opportunities. It makes collaboration effortless and relationships lasting. And like compound interest, the earlier you start building it, the greater the payoff will be in the long run. So play the long game, keep making the deposits, let trust compound, and one day you'll wake up to find that what you've built is bigger than money, bigger than success. You'll have something far rarer, a reputation that compounds across a lifetime. Reputation is the ultimate leverage. Money comes and goes, skills can become outdated, connections fade, but reputation, your consistent track record of who you are and how you behave, that follows you everywhere. It is invisible, but it is powerful. It speaks before you enter the room, and it lingers long after you've left. Most people underestimate reputation. They think it's just about being liked or about having a good image. But true reputation is deeper. It's built on decades of behavior, not moments of charm. It's the sum of every decision you've made, every promise you've kept, every moment you've chosen integrity over convenience. And the funny thing is, you can't fake it. You might fool people once or twice with a clever line, but over time, your true nature bleeds through. The market, the world, sees who you really are. Reputation is leverage because it saves you from having to constantly prove yourself. When people trust your reputation, they give you opportunities without hesitation. They introduce you to others, they hand you projects, they invest in you, not because you convinced them in one meeting, but because your track record is undeniable. The more consistent you've been in delivering value, the more doors swing open automatically. It's like compound interest. Every good decision builds upon the last. Every kept promise raises the floor for your next opportunity. Think about it. A person with no reputation has to sell themselves every single time. They have to argue, persuade, prove again and again. But someone with a strong reputation walks in with credibility already stacked in their favor. Their reputation does the selling for them. If Warren Buffett wants to invest in a company, he doesn't need a long pitch. His reputation alone creates trust. People know who he is and what he stands for. That's leverage. Now, the challenge is that reputation is slow to build and fast to lose. You can spend 10 years proving you're reliable, and one careless lie can erase it overnight. That's why short-term opportunists rarely last. They might get away with tricking people once, but they burn bridges as fast as they build them, and over time, their circle shrinks. Nobody wants to work with someone who plays short-term games. In contrast, those who guard their reputation carefully, who prioritize honesty and consistency even when it costs them, end up winning bigger in the long run. Reputation is also scalable in a way money isn't. A dollar can only be spent once, but your reputation, once established, works for you everywhere at once. While you sleep, people are talking about you, recommending you, vouching for you. Every time you do the right thing, you're planting seeds in people's memories. And those seeds spread far beyond your direct control. Someone you helped 5 years ago might mention your name in a room you'll never enter. That's leverage you can't buy with money. But here's the paradox. The best reputations are built by not thinking too much about reputation. If you chase appearances, people see through it. If you're trying to manage your image more than your actions, it shows. The real way to build reputation is simple. Align your actions with your values and do it consistently over time. Live in such a way that you don't need to remember what you said, because what you do always matches it. A strong reputation also brings freedom. When people know your character, you don't need to negotiate endlessly. You don't need contracts for every interaction. A word becomes enough. A handshake becomes enough. That saves enormous time and mental energy. It allows you to focus on creation instead of protection. And the less time you spend defending yourself, the more time you can spend building something meaningful. Reputation is not about being perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is how you handle them. Do you hide? Do you blame others? Or do you own up to it, take responsibility, and correct course? Strangely, admitting mistakes can even strengthen your reputation because it signals honesty. People don't expect you to be flawless. They expect you to be real, accountable, and consistent. At its core, reputation is just long-term trust made visible. It's the public version of that private trust we build with individuals, and like trust, it compounds. Early in your life or career, you may feel invisible. You're making deposits that nobody seems to notice, but over years, decades, it builds into something undeniable. Suddenly, People know your name before you've even met them. They come to you because they already know what you stand for. So, if you want true leverage in life, don't just chase money, status, or titles. Chase a reputation built on substance. Do the right thing, especially when it's hard. Keep your promises, especially when it costs you. Over time, the compounding effect will make your reputation worth more than any asset you could own. Because money can be stolen, skills can be copied, networks can collapse. But a solid reputation earned honestly over time is almost impossible to take away. That's why reputation is the ultimate leverage. Most people spend their lives chasing tactics. They're always looking for the next trick, the next hack, the next shortcut that will finally make everything click. They think success is about having the right playbook or the right formula, but tactics change. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. Markets shift, technology evolves, the world keeps moving. If all you've invested in is tactics, you'll always be playing catch up. What doesn't change is people, the right people. People with integrity, curiosity, and resilience will adapt with you. If you choose people instead of tactics, you don't have to know exactly what the future looks like. You don't have to predict the next big trend, because you'll have partners who can navigate change, who can adjust the tactics when the environment shifts, who can evolve alongside you. Think about it. Every great company, every enduring relationship, every long-term success is built not on a perfect plan, but on the right people working together. Startups rarely succeed with their original idea. The first tactic almost never works. But the founding team, their trust in each other, their willingness to learn, their refusal to give up, that's what carries them through the pivots. The tactics change, but the people remain. When you choose people, you're choosing values. Tactics are surface level, but values are the foundation. A tactic might help you win today, but values determine whether you'll still be winning 10 years from now. Do you want to work with someone who's brilliant at a tactic, but will betray you the moment a better offer comes along? Or would you rather work with someone steady, someone whose word means something, someone who will face the storm with you even when it's hard? In the long run, the second choice always wins. This is why it's so important to play long-term games with long-term people. Because when the game changes, as it always does, the people you've chosen will adapt with you. The tactics will take care of themselves. The world is full of playbooks and strategies. You can learn them, copy them, buy them. But you can't replace good people. They're rare and they're priceless. There's also an energy that comes from choosing the right people. When you're with the wrong people, even the best tactic feels like a grind. You spend your time watching your back, questioning motives, worrying about betrayal. The work becomes heavy, but with the right people, even failures feel lighter. You can laugh, regroup, and try again. The energy is compounding, and over decades, that difference in energy makes all the difference in outcomes. Many people confuse tactics with strategy, and strategy with relationships. They think if they just have the right how, everything else will fall into place. But the how is never stable. The who is what lasts. If you get the people right, they'll figure out the strategy. They'll experiment with the tactics. They'll learn from mistakes and keep moving forward. But if you get the people wrong, no tactic in the world will save you. Choosing people also means choosing environments. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who hold themselves to high standards, who push you to be better simply by example. If you're with short-term thinkers, you'll be dragged into short-term games. If you're with opportunists, you'll be forced into situations where trust is impossible. But if you're with long-term thinkers, you'll naturally play long-term games. You'll rise to their level because their values won't allow anything less. This is why the most successful people spend less time chasing secrets and more time choosing partners. They know tactics are everywhere, but good people are rare. They know that a trustworthy partner multiplies their efforts more than any new trick could, and they know that the compound interest of strong relationships outperforms the short-term gains of clever tactics. In the end, life is not about mastering every tactic. It's about finding the right people and growing together. The right people make the journey worth it. They make the failures survivable and the successes meaningful. Without them, even winning feels empty. With them, even losing feels like progress. So stop chasing tactics. Stop obsessing over the next shortcut. Instead, pay attention to the people around you. Who keeps their word? Who shows up consistently? Who grows when things get tough instead of breaking down? Those are the people you bet on. Those are the people you build with. Because in the long run, tactics will fade, trends will die, strategies will evolve. But the people you choose, if you choose wisely, will be with you through all of it, and that's how you build something that lasts.